The finance of a country plays vital roles for the country to run, both administratively and for the well-being of its people. Stop TB HIV has its review meeting on Dr. Ninote Hansen Naughty as my guest now. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Doctor,
yes.
I was so privileged to have you today. I want to know more about the roles of CCM as far as HIV/AIDS and TB is concerned.
Thank you very much. The CCM is an independent body that is established in Ghana to apply for, to receive, and manage resources from the Global Fund directly for work related to TB, HIV/AIDS, and malaria in Ghana. The CCM, like I said, is independent because it is made up of independent stakeholders who are involved in all the work related to TB, HIV, and malaria in Ghana. There are three main constituency groups, we call them, who sit on the CCM. So we have government representatives who come from the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Education, other government agencies like SHRAJ and Ministry of Gender, to represent the interests of government when it comes to TB, HIV, and malaria. In a similar vein, there are representatives from civil society organizations. So these are the non-government counterparts. They come from local civil society organizations. Some come from the private sector. You also have other people coming from academia. You have professional groupings from both within the health sector space, and then you have representatives who represent the interests of people, so like community organizations that are representing the interest of people who are affected by the three diseases, HIV, TB, and malaria. Then the third party are the development partners. So they sort of sit in the middle and they represent the multilateral groups such as the UN system. So we have WHO, UNAIDS, UNDP, UNICEF, all sitting there. And then you have the bilateral groups. So you have the USAIDs, you have the DFID, that's the UK government funding agency. You have the German agencies. You have the Dutch government agencies. So all these groups come together to this forum of equals, a forum of equals and equal-minded persons who are all working in various ways to support the national response against TB, HIV, and malaria. So that is what the CCM is.
Thank you, Doctor. Quite often we hear about funding not being enough for this implementing partners. Yes. What is your take on it?
Well, we live in a world where resources are always finite. And so funding allocation is almost always never enough to do what we want to do.
Okay, so the Vice President himself is saying funding is always not enough. How do we make funding enough for the implementing partners?
Good. So to make funding enough, we need to look at innovative ways of raising resources within our space. We have the Global Fund committing external funding to support the work that we are doing. We have the development partners also committing some external funding.
Okay.
They make contributions to the Global Fund through their governments,
Okay.
and then they also make contributions to our health system directly through areas that the Global Fund doesn't finance. But then we also need to be able to raise local funding, what's called domestic funding. Domestic funding can come from government of Ghana, and it can also come from the people of Ghana. We can have domestic, if you look at what's happening around the world, some of the biggest funders for development are private individuals or private businesses. So we have the Gates Foundation, the Bill Gates, you have the Warren Buffetts, you have the Bonos and the Charles Bronson and then the Bloombergs. They are all making direct funding allocation or direct contribution to development issues globally. In the same way, we have reputable people who have resources that we believe we can spare to support development issues in Ghana.
Okay, Doctor, so comparing domestic funding with funds from CCM, which one do you think stands tall to help implementing partners?
Okay, currently, of course, the CCM's role is to coordinate the receipt of funds directly from the Global Fund.
Okay.
But some of us also believe that if given the mandate, the CCM could raise funding from other sources that may not be Global Fund directed sources. Some of these sources can be local and international.
What is preventing this?
Well, the current mandate of the CCM allows the CCM to be focused only on Global Fund resources. We are looking at possibly putting in place a new constitution or maybe new ideas that will help the CCM be able to work in other areas. The CCM is guided by a constitution, and so you don't just get up and change the constitution.
Okay, Doctor, so I am an implementing partner under CCM. We're getting our funds from Global Funds. And CCM itself knows this fund is not enough. Yet, Global Fund is not allowing that CCM solicits for funds elsewhere. Is this really helping us?
Well, the current constitution, the CCM is governed by a constitution and is governed by independent representatives of the people of Ghana. And the current focus is on how to receive and manage resources from the Global Fund. We expect or we hope that in the near future we would possibly look at other funding sources. This question has come up before. There were a few challenges in trying to implement it. And it's good if we raise it anytime so that we can look at how we can properly structure our activities. And remember, it is all for the benefit of the people of Ghana.